Welcome back. We're just about set to start game 2 of our scheduled doubleheader between the Spartans and the Lions. And Skippy, this will be the rubber match with a one-run game that we saw last night, 2-1 victory for St. Leo, and then the Spartans take the early game today 1-0.
Yeah, you got to kind of wonder the in-state rivalry. They really do not want to lose. They're bringing all the weapons out of the bag. Great defense, great pitching.
Leadoff hitter is Alexandra Hare, who has really done well in this series, and this time facing Mary Beth Feldman, so the third different pitcher that she's faced in this 3-game series. And of course, they're both adjusting to each other.
The relationship between the battery is a very special bond.
Fouled back by Hare. And a base hit to start off the game. And Alexandra Hare, how much more can you say about this tear that she has been on in this weekend series here in Tampa against the Spartans? And that'll bring up the first base player, Alyssa Perez. And she's in a good position almost every time she comes up to bat. She's already got a teammate on base in front of her.
Yeah, that's what you love to see, especially a leadoff batter getting on base. That is what they're there for.
A bunt by Perez and fielded DeSimone, as you saw coming over to cover, was Cameron Weininger. So successful with the sacrifice and moving Hare over to second base. That brings up the freshman right fielder, Bianca Polestina. Ball 1 to Polestina. Gets underneath that one to left field, and Fantone there to make the catch. And they're able to hold Hare at second. And you can see the palm trees in left center field. The wind making its presence known here.
Yeah, there's a lot of wind up high. Routine fly balls are not going to be as routine as normal as the automatic out, so pay attention to that as the game goes on.
2 outs, and the batter is Brianna Neal. You were just outside. Is it raining out there?
A slight drizzle.
A couple of umbrellas going up right in front of our press box. Brianna Neal, the next pitch coming from Mary Beth Feldman, swings and misses. And Neal looked like she was swinging for the fences on that one.
Yeah, that ball must have looked like about the size of a soccer ball. She really wanted that one. You wonder if the pitcher's going to go back to the same spot again.
Popped foul.
And it does look like the pitcher went right back to the same spot.
Somebody needs to tell Brianna Neal that it is a very, very rare occurrence for a home run to be hit in this ballpark. The wind kicking up now, and the 0-2 coming from Feldman. And right to DeSimone, and she will go unassisted for out number 3 here in the top of the first. No runs on one hit. There were no Lions left on base. And we will have the Spartans coming to bat in the bottom of the first when we return on TampaSpartans.tv. Spartans left fielder Lauren Fantone leading things off in the bottom of the first. And facing the pitcher Kayla Betts, who had that tremendous outing last night. And so despite pitching 10 innings last night, Kayla Betts ready to go here in Game 2 in the pitching circle for the visitors.
You know, I think she really wants this rubber match. She wants to put it on herself, really continue the momentum of the pitching duels that we have seen.
Up high, the count goes even, 1-1. Fantone awaiting the next pitch from Betts. And here it comes. And that's going to be ball 4.
It looked like a hit by pitch.
Excuse me, hit by pitch. Lily Keister, the number 2 hitter, UT center fielder, and kind of what we saw in the top half of the inning as the number 2 hitter steps into the batter's box and her teammate ahead of her already on base. First pitch to Keister, she shows bunt, and that one goes foul.
And like I was saying last game, you want to get on base any way possible to generate any sort of offense in a pitcher type of environment. You know, the wind is blowing, it's a little drizzly, you know, pitcher ideal right here.
Yo, 1 to Keister, shows bunt again, and caught by Alexandra Hare for out number 1. Avery Perkins, Spartans designated player, hitting here in the number 3 position. For the Spartans, this is their last regular season home game. They will close out the regular season on the road by heading down to Boca Raton next weekend and playing at Lynn. 3 o'clock game on Friday, and then a doubleheader next Saturday, 12 o'clock for game 1. Avery Perkins ready, and Betts delivers, and Perkins showing bunt, and stolen base successful by Lauren Fantone. So Leslie Cantor getting aggressive early.
And that's what you have to do in this environment. You know the offense is going to be hard to come by with the weather. Right there, the catcher had a good pop-up time, but it looked like she double-clutched, maybe not had a good grip on it. Nonetheless, stolen base.
And now the next pitch to Perkins. Looks at a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. Betts with her instructions from the dugout, and 2-1 on the way. Perkins right back to her. Betts bobbles it, but gets it over to first in time, and Fantone able to advance safely to third. And just that stolen base could be the key, because now, although there's 2 outs, 60 feet from home plate is the game's first run, and we're only in the bottom of the first. It took until the 6th inning of last night's game and the first game today for either team to get a run.
And right there with the ball hit up right back to the pitcher, you know, that's showing that she is locked in the game. She is following the ball with her eyes the entire time. It did not phase her. You want to see what that's going to do, if she's going to come back at it, or, is that going to upset her a little bit? We'll have to wait and see.
Weininger looked like she was swinging for the fences on the first pitch. Here's the 0-1. Swings and misses again.
The batter saw that one really good out of the hand. Big cut. You wonder if she's going to go back to the same location again.
Here comes the 0-2. And outside for a ball.
That was a really good pitch right there with no balls. You want to set that ball on the outside and make them chase a weak contact, but the hitter stayed disciplined. Tough to do.
Kayla Betts ready, and here comes her 1-2. And Weininger sends that one out of play on the first base side. Here comes the 1-2 with 2 outs. And Weininger, that's going to go foul. She stays alive. I'll tell you, a dedicated bunch of fans that are here today. They've persevered throughout the weather delays, throughout some rain that's been falling.
Really impressive to see the stands. I mean, absolutely packed. And you got people sitting on the sidelines as well. With the weather stoppages, the weather coming in, they want to see some softball here.
The 1-2 to Weininger. And ball 2 outside. A showdown here between Kayla Betts and Cameron Weininger in the bottom of the first with 2 outs and a runner on third. And Weininger swings and misses. Betts records her first strikeout of the game. So scoreless after 1 inning, and we'll be back with the top of the second coming up on TampaSpartans.tv.
right-handed batter, you can go almost a little backdoor around the plate. A little pitcher advantage.
3-1 to Bailey Williams, and she will draw the walk. And excitedly runs down to first base. All 5'0" of Bailey Williams. And that brings up the center fielder, Hope Epps. So a runner on base in each of the first 2 innings for St. Leo thus far. And they throw to second, look out, and now they're going to get the runner no. Well, I don't know what happened there because
that was a broken play. That was a hit and run or a sacrifice run, and the batter never got the bunt down, so the runner got caught in the middle there.
That throw that came in from the outfield, she looked like she was out for sure.
It was definitely close. You can definitely feel a sense of urgency from a coaching standpoint as weather's rolling in. You know, you want to get that first score if this game goes official.
And so the Hope Epps at-bat continues here, albeit now with Bailey Williams on second. And Weininger to DeSimone at first, and they do call the out there. And Williams advances to third. The umpire, Edwin Riggin.
It definitely looked like she was safe from up here, but the blue down there said she was out.
Well, and conversely, I felt that the runner was out at second on the throw that was relayed from the outfield, so it could also be a makeup call. This is Cheyenne Waller, the Lions shortstop.
Well, the blue here taking a minute to see if our weather is going to give us a signal to get off the field or not. He's saying, all right, let's play softball.
So 0-1 here to Cheyenne Waller, and she follows that one back. 2 outs for St. Leo in the top of the second, but they do have a runner at third. And Waller, the number 8 hitter, would love to bring her teammate Bailey Williams in for the game's first run. That one goes up high for a ball.
You can really feel the sense of urgency really building up here.
The 1-2 from Mary Beth Feldman. And that's going to go foul down the left field line. It's a different type of tension, but it kind of feels like the late stages of last night's game when we were heading to extra innings.
That one run is a mountain to climb.
And the count goes even 2-2 here against Cheyenne Waller. Hails from up in Citrus County. And here's the 2-2 to her. Pops it up and called for by Balmer and caught for out number 3. So no runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 Lions runner left on base. Through 1.5, we remain scoreless. Coming back with the bottom of the second here on TampaSpartans.tv.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team on my campus and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
Back live for the bottom of the second, and the Spartans will send Mariah Galehouse, Lexi Chevalier, and Caroline Watson to the plate. 5, 6, and 7 hitters. Galehouse playing right field in this game, but you still could make a case for pitcher versus pitcher. That was the case when she batted against Betts last night. And the first pitch of the bottom of the second inning is outside for ball one.
You would like to see Tampa respond here with shutting them down and not getting any damage in the top of the second. Let's see them respond right here.
Galehouse looks at that one, strike one. Kayla Betts, one strikeout, no hits allowed. And the 1-1 to Galehouse is fouled back to the screen. Mariah Galehouse, a senior, in her final regular season home game. And now the 1-2 coming to Galehouse from Betts. And it's fouled back. Mariah stays alive.
Yeah, the batter has the pitcher timed up right now. The last two directly back into the screen. Maybe she'll square it up right here, get it in the gap, take off running.
The 1-2 to Galehouse. And sent to third, a base hit. Diving was Alexandra Hare unsuccessfully. And Galehouse is aboard here in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, right there, the pitcher did exactly what I thought. Would change speeds, go a lot slower. It fooled the hitter for a second, but she was able to stay back far enough and just put the barrel to the ball and just drive it right by. Great hitting.
That brings up Lexi Chevalier.
No outs right here. I would expect some hit and run, some small ball.
Rocks back, delivers, and Chevalier showing bunt. It goes back to the screen. And now that she's tipped her hand a little bit, we'll watch the corner infielders and see if they're going to play up a little bit more, expecting another bunt. Hare at third and Alyssa Perez at first.
First baseman's playing pretty far up. I would expect a push bunt.
And there goes Galehouse, and she got a really good jump. She's in there safely.
Well, now this changes everything. You have no outs. The runner's now on second. So I would expect you put the ball in play, swing the bat, or you could push bunt to first and move the runner over to third and take your out.
Really good jump there by Mariah Galehouse to get the stolen base.
Yeah, that was huge. Now that puts Tampa in the command seat almost, if you will.
The 1-1 to Chevalier. Lays down the bunt, and Hare comes in and throws it over to Neal, covering at first, but they do advance Gelhaus to third. So Chevalier goes down as out number 1 in the bottom of the second.
That was a smart play by Tampa. You take your sacrifice, you move the runner over to third with 1 out. Now all you have to do is hit it into the outfield and take your sacrifice and take the lead here.
Yeah, and if there's any young kids that are here watching in person or watching our broadcast, just real good fundamental defense that St. Leo's been showing on those bunts with the way that Alexandra Hare races in from third to cover. Alyssa Perez is always breaking in from first forward, and you always see Brianna Neal over there covering from her second base position at the first base bag, and that's the way to get it done. At the same time, UT thrilled to see them shifting everything over that way because it allows Mariah Galehouse, in this case, to be safe at third. As you see a conference that's going to take place out in the pitching circle as Lions head coach Aaron Kinberger goes out there to speak with Caleb Betts, as well as catcher Madison Coe and the other infielders.
Yeah, Bruce, I'd like to add to the fundamentals with the bunt play on the defense. I mean, I'm watching really great wheel plays. That's where the second baseman and the shortstop cover the bag, and that's dangerous to do because you tip your hand and you're full committed to that bunt. And if Tampa pulls back and just decides to hit it up the middle, I mean, that's a guaranteed hit.
Caroline Watson up against Kayla Betts here in the bottom of the second. And Betts, her next pitch on the way, and Watson follows that one back to the screen. Watson looking over at head coach Leslie Cantor. And now Watson back in the batter's box. And the battery set for St. Leo. Betts' next pitch on the way. Watson follows that one back to the screen.
Right there, the batter had the pitcher timed up really well. Just barely missed it, and it fouls right back into the screen, dead back. So you time it up just a slight midge, and you're gonna really hit that one hard.
1 ball, 2 strikes against Caroline Watson. Swung on and missed. And that'll be the second strikeout of the game registered by Kayla Betts. And it brings up Spartans first base player Kate DeSimone. 2 out in the bottom of the second.
So right there, you saw the pitcher throw a beautiful pitch. Started it on the outside, knew the hitter was going to be aggressive, wanted to get that run in. Now St. Leo could get out of here with no damage and 2 outs.
DeSimone follows that one off. Each team with 1 hit. And Betts sends in the 0-1 to DeSimone. She sends that one down the right field line, and it will not be caught. And she will stay alive.
It almost seemed like that ball was slicing forever. It started in play, and the wind just carried it all the way to the rock, the warning track area.
So 0-2 here to Kate DeSimone with 2 out in the bottom of the second. And the Spartans with a runner on third. And ball one to DeSimone. And the St. Leo fans voicing their displeasure. A vocal bunch that has made their way down I-75.
St. Leo looking into the dugout, making sure all the infielders are on the same page here.
Here's the 1-2 to DeSimone, and she fouls that one off. Kayla Betts up to 33 pitches. And ready for another here against DeSimone. DeSimone finds the gap and drives in Mariah Galehouse, and the Spartans will take the 1-0 lead on an RBI single by Kate DeSimone. And well-placed ball, well-hit ball.
Very well hit ball. She stayed back on it, was able to wait on the action of the pitch, and didn't try to get too fancy with it. Just put it up the middle, put the ball in play.
So with 2 outs in the bottom of the second, UT takes the earliest lead on this 3-game series. DeSimone on first, and number 9 hitter shortstop Steph Ballmer at the plate. And Skippy, with the way that the Spartans had such a tough time hitting Kayla Betts last night, this has to give them all kinds of confidence, already having 2 hits against her and still batting in the bottom of the second.
Oh, yeah, you love when you start hitting, it's contagious. It's almost like a fever. When one person hits, they all hit.
The 0-1 to Steph Ballmer. And DeSimone will advance to second base.
It's almost after the win of last game that Tampa has come out here with full life. They looked real upset. They were just super tense. Now it's like they're relaxed, they're flowing.
And now here comes the 1-1 to Ballmer. And strike 2. Kate DeSimone at second base. Spartans have gotten the game's first run in this inning. Can Steph Ballmer advance DeSimone? Here comes the 1-2. And she sends that foul over towards the Spartans' dugout.
You know, when in the beginning I talked about how would they respond, and they're hitting the ball, they're putting it in play, and not only just getting on base, but they're hitting it well, squaring the ball up.
Steph Ballmer, another senior who's playing in her final regular season home game. And the junior, Kayla Betts, getting ready to deliver the 1-2 pitch to Ballmer. And that's going to be outside for ball 2. And I think the catcher not only framing it, but trying to will that into strike 3. And, of course, the umpire just is not going to bite.
Yeah, it almost looked like she tried to go with an action pitch and go back door and sneak it in. And I may just touch the black. We may have got away with one.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to number 2, Stephanie Ballmer, here in inning number 2. And Ballmer, it's going to be fielded by Neal and over to Perez for out number 3, but not before the Spartans get the game's first run. In the bottom of the second, they had 1 run on 2 hits. There were no Lions errors, and 1 Spartans runner left on base. Through 2 complete, UT in the lead 1-0. We'll be back with the top of the third coming up on TampaSpartans.tv.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
The designated player, Caroline Barwick, batting for the Lions here in the top of the third. And the 0-1 to Barwick showing bunt. And Barwick will be out at first, as you saw coming over to cover Cameron Weininger. And so 1 down for St. Leo in the top of the third.
I almost thought the pitcher would take that throw, but the first baseman called her off.
The third base player, Alexandra Hare, singled to lead off the game.
And this is where Tampa has to play some lockdown defense and get aggressive here, throwing strikes. Make that 1 run feel like 10 runs.
And especially against Hare, who has been so dangerous with the bat in this series. You're exactly right, Skippy. This is prime opportunity, prime spot in the game to really shut them down.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth there.
Sends that one foul, and it will not be caught by either Balmer or Fantone, who were both in pursuit. At the same time, though, the count goes to 0-2 against Hare.
If I'm the pitcher here, I'm going to throw some action out of the zone, maybe in the dirt, get her to chase.
Ball 1. And bounces that one foul. And looks like off of her left foot, perhaps. So 1-2 here against Alexandra Hare with 1 out, and follows that one off.
There's a great battle right here, but when you throw this many pitches, you really want to get this out. Make it count.
So another 1-2 offering from Feldman, and Hare puts that one on the ground. Weininger is not going to get to it in time. And so Alexandra Hare will reach on an error in the top of the third.
And once again, she finds herself on base, seeing the ball, hitting the ball. It's always a great feeling.
And as you had mentioned previously, that's why you put someone like that in the leadoff position. You know, you can count on them to get on base. And so again, Alyssa Perez coming to the plate, knowing that the teammate in front of her is down at first. Perez looking over at head coach Aaron Kinberger for instructions. Now she's ready, steps into the batter's box. And swings and misses. Count goes even at 1-1. 2 errors committed already by the Spartans in just 2 1/3 innings.
Maybe throw something that falls off the plate, try to get some weak contact, maybe turn a double play.
Popped up, Ballmer calls for it, and that'll be out number 2. As Alyssa Perez is retired, which brings up Bianca Polestina, the St. Leo right fielder. She flew out to left field in the first inning. And her teammate, Alexandra Hare, over on first base. The 0-1 from Feldman swung on, and that one goes foul over towards the Spartans dugout. Throw down to second, and Hare will be safe. And Skippy, you've mentioned it a couple times, the urgency, and Kinberger, the coach of St. Leo, showing it there, giving the green light for the stolen base attempt, as the 0-2 is ball 1 to Polestina.
Yeah, if you're the pitcher right here, you're not too worried about the runner on second. You have 2 outs. You're all around the plate. You just want to settle down, get your mind right real quick, and get this out. Go back to hitting.
The 1-2 and fouled off. Polestina staying alive here against Mary Beth Feldman. So the third different pitcher in 3 games for the Spartans. So taking away any kind of familiarity for the Lions hitters. And right at Feldman, who makes the catch. A line drive for out number 3. And down go the Lions in the top of the third. No runs on no hits. There was 1 Spartan error. 1 runner left on base. 1-0 Spartans in the lead. We'll be back with the bottom of the third coming up on TampaSpartans.tv. Lauren Fantone leading off the UT bottom of the third inning. Her team in the lead 1-0. Two hits for the Spartans, 1 hit for St. Leo. And the first pitch of the third inning from Kayla Betts is swung on, and Fantone is going to get on base with the Spartans' third hit of the game.
I believe Coach said go out there and be aggressive. She went right after the first pitch and hit it hard. keep building that momentum.
So that'll bring up the Spartans center fielder, Lily Keister. She popped out to third in the first inning. And Skip, you mentioned before, we're seeing it continue. The Spartans looking a lot different in this third game of the series. Probably the most confident that they've looked out of the three. And really just coming out here and taking control of the game.
You know, they've been seeing the ball well, and they're getting some really great hits, but sometimes right at people, and you just keep putting that work in and keep doing it, and it's going to go your way.
And a bunt by Keister, foul. And it kind of furthers the point that I made earlier that for a pitcher who was no-hitting them for so many innings last night and to already have 3 hits against her and you don't even have anybody out in the third inning, just adds to the confidence that the Spartans seem to have.
Oh, yeah, that makes it feel very good. I mean, when you're not hitting and all of a sudden the entire team starts getting on base game after game, it becomes contagious. It becomes really fun.
The 0-1 to Keister, and up high for a ball. Kayla Betts looking into her dugout, checks the wristband, rocks back, and winds, delivers, and a bunt laid down by Keister, and they're not going to get her. A really, really well-placed bunt, and Spartans with runners on first and second and nobody out.
You know, I was fixing to call it out, but I didn't want to interrupt you. The third baseman was playing almost even with the bag, not expecting a push bunt that way, and she pulled the old trick out and worked right there.
So that brings up Avery Perkins, the designated player. 0 for 1 in this game. And the Spartans are going to get to the meat of the order here as there's nobody out. And Perkins is the number 3 hitter. Shows bunt. And will they get her? They do. And the umpire, Edwin Riggin, rather animated in his call from over between second and third, but the Spartans nonetheless runners at second and third now.
You know, that was the play whole along. It was a sacrifice bunt to move the runners over. You got one out, now you have runners in scoring position, but she almost beat it out. That would have been even better. Bases loaded, no outs.
Indeed, but the Spartans will certainly settle for having 2 runners in scoring position and a chance to add to this 1-0 lead as Weininger, it's under that one, and it goes foul out of play. Cameron Weininger struck out in the first inning. 2 strikeouts for Kayla Betts so far in this game.
You know, if I'm St. Leo right now, I got to say, we have to shut them down, just keep this 1-run deficit and go hit. But right now they have 2 runners in scoring position. It almost feels like they're just attacking you constantly. So we'll see how the pitcher holds up, the mental durability and grit.
You saw the pitch up high for ball 1. Weininger ready, waiting for the next pitch from Betts. And here it is on the way, and swings and misses. And that looked like a rise ball. And Weininger behind in the count now. Lily Keister clapping her hands at second base, trying to encourage Cameron Weininger. Here comes the 1-2, fouled back to the screen.
The batter right there had it timed up really well again. You see it go straight back, pretty much horizontal. That's when you square it up and you time it up, but you just barely miss it. And I'm talking maybe a quarter an inch, half an inch, and that ball is smoked.
Spartans leading 1-0. Trying to add to it here. The 1-2 coming to Cameron Weininger. Up high for a ball. The lights are on in the stadium, and the action has been red hot on the field all 3 games that these teams have played in what will have been less than 24 hours. And here's the 2-2 now to Cameron Weininger. And down and away for ball 3. And how things have changed in this at-bat.
You can definitely feel the atmosphere. It's really, you can definitely tell Tampa can blow this game wide open with just one or even both runs just sitting out there on the bags right now. This is very big for St. Leo to get out of this.
Full count here against Weininger. Betts with the delivery. Weininger pops it up. And it goes off the netting. And so Cameron will live to see another pitch in this at-bat. Caleb Betts up over 50 pitches now in this game. 1 out, bottom of the 3rd. Spartans leading 1-0. Runners on 2nd and 3rd. And a 3-2 pitch once again coming to Cameron Weininger. Swings and sends that one way down the left field line. Foul. Really got a hold of that one.
Yeah, she did. She made great contact just slightly in front of it. You waited maybe an eighth of a second, faster than you can blink really, and you square it up and it goes. But really great at bat right here, battling it off, running the pitch count up. That's what you want to see in the middle of your order. You're just hoping a pitcher makes a mistake with this many pitches thrown to you in an at-bat.
The 3-2 once again from Betts. Swung on deep center field and all the way to the fence. And 2 runs are going to score, and Cameron Weininger is going to end up at 3rd with a stand-up triple. 2 runs driven in, and the Spartans lead goes to 3-0.
The pitch before, I said you just wait maybe an eighth of a second and it goes, and she did that, and that ball hit the fence on a 1-hop. I mean, great stroke, nice level, waited on it, and now they scored 2 runs. Now you almost feel like this game's 10-0 at the moment.
Yeah, great point, Skippy. And Cameron Weininger, boy, when she gets a hold of a ball, I had an opportunity to call a home run of hers a few weeks ago. And you saw the power, as you mentioned, with the foul ball that went down the left field line and then straight away center. And a stand-up triple. And now it's Mariah Galehouse and gets under that one. And the first baseman, Perez, makes the catch. And so down goes Galehouse that quickly.
And that's what battling an at-bat does for you. You wait for the mistake, and that was the mistake, and she made her pay for it.
And are we going to have a weather delay? It would appear. Indeed, the team's walking off. And so, unfortunately, with all kinds of momentum the home team's way, both teams are going to get an opportunity to sit and rest for a while because there's a weather delay. And keep your eyes on the broadcast. We don't necessarily know how long this delay will be, but we'll be back when the game resumes right here on TampaSpartans.tv.